Hello. Good evening. Come on in, guys. Come on in. Welcome, welcome, welcome to this week's edition of Let's Talk. Come on in, guys. And as you come in, shout me out. Tell me hello. Let me know that you're on the air with us. Let me know you're out there. Tell me hello. Give me some thumbs up. Please like and share the video. Like and share the video. And so, how are you guys doing this evening? How's everybody doing? Has everyone had a fabulous holiday weekend? I really have. I have. But I am so super tired. So you can tell by my attire, I'm super comfortable tonight. But anyway, we still gonna have this good in-depth conversation. So come on in, guys. And when you come in, like and share the video. Tell me hello. Let me know that you are in the audience with us tonight. We're gonna talk about substance abuse and the impact of substance abuse on children when they're in the household with maybe parents that have substance abuse, and how one individual, Mr. Reginald Foreman, overcame those impacts. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight when we get started. But I want you guys to pray for the people in Texas, the horrible flooding that they have going on, and it's still storming, still raining there. And a camp site where a young girls attend camp was flooded, and so many of the young girls there, many lost their lives. I think it's up to 79 dead now already, and a lot of those were from this campsite. So please pray for the people in Texas, those that have been impacted by this horrible flood. So y'all come on in. Let me know that you're here. Tell me hello. Give me a wave. Give me a shout out. Let me know that you're in the audience with us. And as always, please like and share the video. Like and share the video. Tag your friends. Let them know that Let's Talk is on the air tonight. And we're going to be discussing overcoming the impacts of substance abuse. This is the Reginald Foreman story. So come on in, guys. Invite your friends and just let them know that Juju is on the air. Also, guys, let me know what kind of topics that you all would like to discuss. Hopefully next week we'll have an exciting one that my Spoolie really wants to talk about. She wants to talk about, is it human nature to cheat? Do all men cheat? Oh, I do, but I just put it as, do all people cheat? And so we're going to talk about that next week. But this week we're talking about the Reginald Foreman story, overcoming the impact of substance abuse. And if you guys have a story or a topic that you would like to discuss, let me know. Messenger me or Mr. Jackson, who is my producer, and let us know, and then we can try to make that happen for you. We can try to make that discussion on your particular topic happen for you. So come on in, guys. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Welcome to Let's Talk. Welcome to Let's Talk. Come on in and join us. And as you come in, of course, let me know that you're there. Tell me hello, give me a shout out so I will know I'm going to stop rocking, okay? Hello, Mr. Foreman. How are you doing this evening? We are so excited to have you, and so excited to be able to hear your story. And we will get you in just a moment. I'm trying to wait and see if Mr. Jackson gets here so we can get started, but we're going to start at 7 o'clock either way. So, but we're just so excited to have you and to be able to hear your story. Like I said, guys, I'm real comfortable tonight, so don't even talk about what I got on, because I'm here. I have been traveling. I traveled, not last week, the weekend before last. I traveled and had a nice time, but traveling always wears me out. Went to Cincinnati. Then last weekend we hosted Juneteenth event at my church, and I worked like a little old puppy. And then this weekend we've been celebrating Independence Day with the family, and I'm thinking it's just family low key. Even low key has got me exhausted, so I'm tired. Hello, Ashley Milford. How you doing, Pooh? Did you come home this weekend? Were you at Opelika? I saw Gate and Jeanette. Of course, I see them almost every day riding, but I was just wondering if you were in Opelika this weekend. Thank you for joining me. Come on in, guys, and it is 7 o'clock, so we're going to go ahead and get started, and I'm sure Mr. Jackson will come on in and join us in a moment. But anyway, welcome to this week's edition of Let's Talk. We're going to be talking about overcoming the impacts of substance abuse. This is the Reginald Foreman story. I would like to ask you guys if you would please like and share this video, and tag a friend. Let them know that we are on the air. I am your host, of course. I am Juju, and we're coming to you live this evening from my living room. I'm back in my living room, guys. Let's Talk is produced by my dear friend and brother, Mr. Jerry L. Jackson. Thank you, Mr. Jackson, for all that you do. Good evening, Miss Michelle Gibbons. Thank you so much for joining. Mr. Jackson, thank you for all that you do. Mr. Jackson says he's having technical difficulties. He'll be joining momentarily. There is so much for us to talk about, and we're going to get right to it. But first, let me remind you that Let's Talk is not intended to be a news show, but we do try our best to steer clear from gossip and things that are knowingly untrue. And it is my sincere hope that everyone finds this a safe place and that you feel comfortable in sharing your opinions and expressing your feelings. This is a no judgment zone. Tonight we will discuss overcoming the impacts of substance abuse, substance use disorder. All of us know someone who deals with substance use disorder and have seen the impacts it has on the individual suffering with the substance use disorder, or SUD, and their loved ones. Substance use disorders are characterized by reoccurring use of alcohol or drugs or both that results in problems such as being unable to control the use of the substance, failing to meet obligations at work, home, or school, having poor health, and spending an increased amount of time and money getting, using, or recovering from the effects of using the substance. Okay? Parents with substance abuse use and parents experience parent parents that have substance abuse can have negative effects on their children. Okay, parents that suffer from substance abuse can have negative impacts on the children. Children with parents who have substance abuse disorder are more likely than children who do not to have lower socioeconomic statuses, increased difficulty in academics and social settings and family functioning, and children that have parents with SUDs are at risk of experiencing direct effects such as parental abuse or neglect, or indirect effects such as fewer household resources. Hello, Tiffany Williams. Thank you for joining. Nearly 19 million U.S. children under the age of 18 were living with one or more parents with a substance abuse disorder in 2023. More than 7.5 million of those children live with a parent with a moderate to severe SUD, and nearly 3.5 million had parents with multiple SUDs, and more than 6 million children had at least one parent with coexisting SUDs and mental illnesses. So our icebreaker for tonight is: how many of you have family members or close friends, or perhaps even you yourself, remember this is a no judgment zone, who have battled substance abuse? And what type of impact did that individual's substance abuse have on your life? Okay, do you know individuals who have had substance abuse problems? Do you have close family friends or relatives? And what impact has that had on you? The other individual's substance abuse. That's our icebreaker question. That is our icebreaker question. Do you know someone who is suffering from substance abuse? Have you had Hello, Mr. Foreman. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. So,
Wait a minute.
is there a delay?
Okay. I hear you say, "Is there a delay?" I of course, there's a delay if you're on the screen. So I see you on my other screen. You know, when they updated Facebook, they did updates. So if you don't have an iPhone, I
Yeah,
can't
it's
see
the
you.
iPhone. It's the iPhone I'm on.
You're on the iPhone? Okay. So I
Mhm.
can't see you. You probably can see me, but I can't see you on my screen because I
Oh,
have a Galaxy, a Samsung. So, but
so do I
I
need to use my
can't.
other phone?
Huh?
Do I need to use my other phone? I have a Galaxy
No,
also.
no, no, no. It's not gonna make a difference because I don't have a iPhone. So you have to have an iPhone with their new updates. That's a defect in their system
Oh,
on Facebook when they updated it. So, but I can see you on my other phone. I
okay,
just can't see you on
okay,
this live video. But we are.
cool.
What I see is behind. There is of course a delay. So, how are you feeling this evening?
I'm tired. Like you said, we've been traveling. Came from Houston. But ready to do God's work. Definitely a little tired.
Okay, so you are in Texas. You all are not being impacted by the weather there, are you?
No, not where we are. No. It's
Well,
besides the heat affection of the effect being affected by how hot it is.
I think it's hard for all of us. Okay. Or at least all of us who are in the South, south of the Mason-Dixie line. So yeah. But
Yes,
anyway,
ma'am.
well, I'm glad you're not impacted. I see those floods are devastating. Hello, Miss Darlene Todd. So we're going to go ahead. Like I said, we were doing an icebreaker. I was asking people to chime in if they've had a loved one or they self personally that was suffering from substance abuse, but I have not seen anyone who commented on our icebreaker. So we will move right along because I'm sure everyone in the audience knows someone, have a family or a close friend that suffers from some or has suffered with substance abuse disorder. It does have a wide ranging impact on the country as a whole, and it doesn't matter what race you are. I mean, it is just, it doesn't discriminate. But anyway, our special guest tonight, guys, is um, someone who grew up in a home where substance abuse was present. And so we want to welcome Mr. Foreman to our show. And first, Mr. Foreman, I want to ask you to tell us about your childhood. Tell us what you want us to know about your childhood and the substance abuse.
Well, my childhood, growing up in the Chicago projects, was a little bit definitely rocky. Grew up with a mother who was had drug issues, and so I was shipped from house to house like an orphan from Alabama with many relatives back to Chicago. And as they say, man, hurt people hurt other people. So I seen some violence, and I experienced violence. My mother was verbally and at times physically abusive. Um, and I can't say that I try to remember as a young man saw her physically doing the drugs, but I saw her at times where you can tell she was cocaine had took over on her, and I've seen her. I've seen some times where she different men were coming out of her room. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And she was counting money, so she was I guess taking care of her habit. So I seen some things that definitely were could leave us could leave a stain in my life, a chip on my shoulder. Um, and so that's how close I was to it. Even my brother, he had died. He was in gangs. He got shot. He got killed in gangs. And
Okay.
when I came out of prison, and I was in St. Louis, I came out of prison, and I tried to when I hadn't seen him for 10 years. He came back in my life, and all I wanted to do was save my mother. And he told
Mm.
me straightforward, "Mama's dead to me." He said she's dead to me. So he had been around with kids was picking at him, saying your mother's on drugs, your mother's this on prostitute, whatever. He got picked at a lot, and it drove him. I mean, he was two times a thug in the streets than I was, so to say. And it's because he lived around it in Alabama. So it had a definitely a harsh impact on both of us.
Okay. So you said that your brother um did he use drugs or did he sell drugs or
Yes, yeah. More than anything, it was just weed. But he definitely was in the streets. He was in the blood game. And so he got pushed into the streets more, and we definitely know it's because of the trauma he experienced when he grew up before he got shot and killed.
okay. And you said that you were in prison. Was your incarceration associated with drugs?
Not really, no, I didn't, and that's was the thing. I stayed away from drugs because what the effect that it had on my mom, and even the way of about to sell drugs, and I was like, I mean, that was one of the hindrances. Besides, I didn't want to be, in Miami they got the jump out boys, and I'd rather be a person with a gun and shoot it out before I go to prison, even though I end up going. Um, And so drugs never was my problem. I probably smoked weed 4 times on my finger. That's one thing that I didn't have a problem with for me was drugs. And but like I said, mine came through my knowing that my mother was affected by it.
Okay. Okay. All right. And children who grow up with parents who have substance abuse disorder are more likely to suffer from substance abuse themselves. And you said that you that was not your problem. These children have a greater incidence of substance abuse disorder than other mental health conditions. So, did you suffer other mental health conditions as a result of growing up
And
with a parent with substance abuse?
I mean, besides having a violent, angry temper, I don't know if that was mental health, and definitely dealing with trauma issues of identity and didn't care about life. I think that was an impactful man. I wanted to be the biggest thug and drug dealer on the street. Not drug dealer, but the biggest thug on the street. I didn't have a focus. So if that's the mental health that was a blockage, definitely that. And I think that was drugs, but also just growing up in the inner city projects and shift from house to house because there was no stability. Definitely left me with a product of who cares about life. That was my mental block.
Okay. So you said your mom was used cocaine. What about your father?
I never, you know
Oh.
what? I've never physically saw my father, but I will say that one day that I was going through his truck. And I remember, and this was the shocker because my dad was Mr. Corporate America, came from the army, was making good money. But I did see a dollar bill laced with white powder substance in his truck. But I've never seen him use it. But of course, that led me to know that he was doing more than I knew. But I've never seen my dad do drugs. But until that time, I was going through his truck for money, and I really didn't wasn't familiar with cocaine at that time. But when I unrolled and I was like, and then I remember, from the friends I hang around, I was like, this can't be my father. I put it to the back of my head because you never really saw ashtrays in our house. They only drunk liquor when they were celebrating. But when he took a back into his life, I think that the people he was hanging around made him got there, but I never physically saw it.
Okay. 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 And you said your
Now he
father was in
definitely
the
sold it.
military.
He definitely sold it though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Once
Okay.
my dad had a falling away from his corporate life. FPNL in Florida had a big nationwide layoff. And there were people getting laid off left and right. And then
Mhm.
him and my stepmother got a divorce, and so that's why I always tell people: you show me your friends, I'll show you your future. He started hanging around Cubans and Colombians, and my daddy they was pushing big time weight. So my dad was in a trap area where it was prostitutes, and he was selling drugs. So yeah, I definitely knew he was doing that. And this is from a clean cut guy, suits and suspenders every day. And that's why I
Okay.
tell people that people have asked me to turn my life into a movie, which it will be. Um, but yeah, I definitely was over there in the trap area running a strip club. He had a friend, and they asked me, to cook the food, and because really, that I respect that about my father. He didn't want me over there with the drugs, and at that time in the area where they were. But yeah, my father did end up selling drugs.
Okay. Okay. All right, then. Okay, and you said you never had substance abuse, and what prevented you? Because, like I said, a lot of times, kids or children who grow up around that, they are more likely to engage in that activity themselves. So, what prevented you from engaging into the substance abuse?
You know, Probably because I didn't witness her strung out or using on my father, it didn't affect me as much. But hanging around friends who smoke, like in Miami, they called it lace with boom. You had cocaine and weed laced. For some reason, I'm just gonna say God. For I never wanted to get high drunk. You know what I mean? I got drunk one time in my life, and I was towed up, and they was telling me how I was trying to fight everybody over the neighborhood. I gotta use a better words. We call them foot draggers, neighborhood chick that sleep with everybody. So then I get real violent when I got drunk. And as far as drugs, it just never was my thing. Like I said, I tried to smoke weed before. It never appealed to me. And I don't know if it subconsciously is because of my mother. I know selling it was subconscious because I didn't like to see what it turned my mother into. But like I said, I never saw her physically use the drugs. But I knew what was said about her. I saw how it took effect on her. It was a horrible when I saw her strung out before, but I never
Mhm.
physically saw her use. So maybe it didn't draw me in like that, and I just believe God kept me in that way. Besides the violence in the streets that I was in, drugs
Mhm.
never was my appeal to me.
Okay. All righty. And so your mom, she was a functioning addict. So is that what you're saying? She.
I don't know if it was functioning. I don't know the gravity of when she got deeper into it because all I know is I knew it was weed for sure because my father would come to Chicago from Miami to check on me. And one day I opened the door and he went through the house checking. He was looking to see what my mother was doing around me, and he saw the roaches they call them in the ashtray. So I know she smoked weed, but I don't know if it was functioning because I don't know the height of the cocaine when she started, how long it took for she got strung out. I don't know. You know what I mean? So I don't know how strong she was on it to say she was functioning. You know what I mean?
Oh,
I can't really tell if the day she got on it and it just sent her into the streets because I don't know the level or the timing that she got into it.
oh, okay, okay, all righty. So tell us how your mother and your father's engagement with substance use and dealing substances. How did that impact your life?
Mm. Well, with my mother, like I said, it put a pain in my heart. But the opposite part of that is when I left my mother and moved with my father in Miami from Chicago projects at 14, I remember telling my dad I want to save my mom. So it put a purpose of love. Even though my
Mhm.
mother was abusive, and she had wrote me a letter and said, because I have a younger brother, we had different fathers, and I remember her saying that you are my firstborn, I always love you, and I had forgiven. I remember telling my dad I want to save my mother. You know, prostitutes and drugs. He said, and it was one of the most profound things my father told me. He said, "You have to help. You can't help your mother until you help yourself."
Mhm.
And so he was telling me to get on my feet and get strong before I went to save her. But other than that, um, I guess I can say, besides the anger from being, looking like if I looked at my brother wrong, I was getting abused or yelled at. It put a lot of anger in me, and then it went from anger to trying to save my mother. And as far as my
Mhm.
father, I was already in the streets thugging when he was doing his thing. So we both was going wayward. So I can't say he caused me to do that whenever he did because I was trying to get in where he was. I was trying to, get in the streets. So for him, it was different because of my father. That happened in a small stint because he was always the one to look up to. Like I said, corporate America making good money, living a
Mhm.
good middle income life. And then it's just crazy to see him that way. It was so bad that what people thought I was lying because the statue my father carried, like, you lying, your dad ain't doing no drugs. But yeah, I saw him riding in limos with two white women on the side, prostitutes, and selling, and I knew he was selling drugs.
Oh, okay. All right, and then your father was in Miami and your mom was in Chicago.
Well, my mother, we went to Alabama after Chicago. We went to Alabama after Chicago, and then I didn't know that they made an agreement that I would move with them in high school. Something like Boys in the Hood when Trey moved with his dad. I always think of that part because they had made an agreement. So I moved to Miami, which was a whole different life from the Chicago projects. And so my mom disappeared. I haven't seen my mother since 1995, and
Oh,
barely see
well,
my dad. I only seen him twice in over 20 years, maybe three times.
but
Yeah, so
they're
I ain't seen
both
my mother since
still, both of them are still alive.
that I know of. My dad is. My mother, 1995. And if I be
So
not to
you
be
hadn't
over
seen
super,
or heard from her since 1995.
and the only thing that holds to this is when I was incarcerated, and this is not to be super spiritual, but it's the truth. I had two people that were cellies, roomies in the prison, have a dream, and they said you will see your mother and your sister, and it was a little boy. Like, so you gotta understand, this is two different prisons that had the same dream. Don't know these men. And so that's the one thing I hold on to. And I found my sister because we hadn't seen each other in 25 years. I found her on Facebook. And then I haven't seen my mother. But because of the dream of part of it coming to life, I mean, to pass, I'm thinking I'll see her again. But we haven't been able to find her anything. And I said to myself, I either need to be stronger before I see my mother. I said I was younger, or she need to be healed because I didn't feel like I can handle seeing my mother strung out on drugs. So now I'm stronger, man of God, certified life coach, all that good stuff, and I'm ready. But it hasn't been time. So no, I haven't seen it since '95.
Wow.
And it is if not for that dream that these two prison people inmates with me had, I might well believe she's gone because I ain't heard from her.
Oh, wow. Okay. So how does that impact you because in your life today? Because for me,
Hmm.
um the idea that I wouldn't know where my loved one is, I haven't seen them,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know if they're dead or alive. That would be torturous to me. So how do you deal with that?
Now that's where we have the problems at. But for me, I've lived in 7 different cities, and I'm used to losing people to a fact where it is turned to make me numb at times. People can die. Not that I don't care, but I can move on because I'm used to being from house to house. I ain't seen my mother for years. My father wasn't there. I guess since I was 17, 16, on and off. So it built the tenacity and the strength in me, but also it built the, a wall. And so it's been times that, and for the beginning, when my brother got shot, I put it to the back of my head. My mother, I didn't think about it. Now I'll have times here and there where I'm like, man, I miss having a mother, but I don't really go through that because what God did for me truly, He sent aunts, He sent people. I have spiritual mothers that take me and they crazy about me, treat me. I learned to keep going. And I believe in
Mm,
therapy plus God, but at the same time, I definitely know it has an effect on me because I can be tough like that, and it's not always good. Where if somebody
mm,
tell me I don't hurt as bad when people die, I just believe we
mm.
got to leave here because I've lost so many people. I've lost relatives. I've been on my own to the point to where I don't think it's been good every time. But it ain't stopped me from believing and keep moving. I just learned to keep going.
Okay. And so you don't have detachment issues.
No, not where I need to be. Now, the other thing that I did though, I knew that I always wanted a wife. I
Hmm.
knew that I always wanted to be with somebody because I didn't have that love from my mother. And so my wife, now Latanya, she's the sweetest person, loving. I needed that. That's what I needed because I never had that. Then when my mother's was with me, I remember one time I was playing baseball and I got hit in the head with a bat. And I just remember my mother getting angry. That was the way she, not at me, but just the anger at what happened. There was no, hey, baby, panicking. My friend's mother was all over me trying to wipe the blood up. She was not compassionate in that way. So, and even my father's side. So, I know I needed that bad. So I would date looking for love, in the sense of a loving mother. I definitely was looking for that.
Okay, you were looking for what you missed as a child and didn't
Oh
have your
yeah,
mother.
I definitely was praying for that, and I got that in my wife now, who I'm with.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, that to me is a strength that I could not imagine because, like I said, if I had a loved one that I didn't know what happened to him, I hadn't seen him or heard from him in 25 years, especially that my mom or my sibling, it would probably just torture me
And I
to a
think it
point
I
of
think
no
it
return.
would, yeah, with a lot of people. But I guess because I grew up that way, when you grow up like an orphan already, you get used to people disappearing. And I
Mm,
said that's not good. But I like I say my wife now, she grew up with all her brothers and sisters. It was her hers. They grew up together. I was
right.
living from this house to this city to this city to this house. And so I know how to it don't bother. Then when I went to prison, when you go to the federal prison, they're subject to wake you up one morning and send you to Kalamazoo, Mississippi. They just pack. So you never get a grasp on comfort or I'm gonna be here. So in the same sense, relatives, people, man, it don't hurt me as much. And I don't know if that's a strength or a pain that's overcoming me. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah, I understand. You know, you build up defenses to uh,
Mm-hmm.
help you adapt
Now I'm a
to.
compassionate, loving person for real. I know how to, my son and my wife they help me do that real
Mhm,
well. But
mhm.
I'm not the one to, man. People get shot in front of me a lot of different things, and I have compassion, but it don't hurt me that I don't have a mother or father right now. It just don't. But and like I said, God did send people to fill the void though, so I got to praise for that. I've had close people stick close to me that were not my blood.
Okay. Speaking of people that hadn't been seen in a while, oh, my baby just walked in the house. I don't know when the last time I saw her. When the last time I saw you, Jordan. But anyway, how you doing? I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. Did you say? But anyway, uh, so we're talking about overcoming the impacts of your parent substance abuse. And I know, you went through a whole lot. You ended up in prison and you stayed in prison a while. But now you are out and you are doing a lot of different things. How did you overcome? What, first of all, what how, did you have to make up in your mind that I don't want this life? This is not what I want.
Listen, when I went to prison, I was suicidal, ready to die. Um, and I tell people every time, I didn't have no jailhouse religion. I really met God, Christ. I had a chance to be a Muslim and all that good stuff. And before that, I knew my grandmother. She prayed for me and told me you got to go to God. When I went to prison, I met God. That's what gave me. I was after I lost trial. I was cursing God out of my cell. What the F for you when my mother was beating me? What the F for you when these Negroes, the other word, was chasing me on? Where were you when I was going off going to tear the cell up? And I remember vividly God saying, "Are you done yet?" Like a voice inside of me, I have a purpose for it. So me meeting a being that I couldn't see, I was one of those why we lived in the projects. If you real well, would you know all that? But when he spoke to me, that's what helped me change and showed me I have a purpose for you on this earth. Because now I don't have mother, father, brother, sister. I'm sitting in prison illegally with 18 and a half years. You know what I mean? They had let me out. I moved to St. Louis, got in the church, and the feds came back and got me, the marshals, and said, "You were let out of prison erroneously by mistake." So I had to go back to prison and fight for my freedom. So it was a lot of anger and a lot of stuff. But I believe for me, being able to finally release that and face God, face forward, not the religion that people wake up. Oh, don't question God, don't say this. Man, me and him had it out. And then he
Mm-hmm.
told me I have a purpose for you. And then after that, I became growing daily in God. Now, this is why I tell people therapy is a good thing and always dying and getting help because I still have stuff inside of me.
Mm-hmm.
I give you a situation. After I had been on CBN, TBN, Black Enterprise, doing great, started my own fashion line, newspapers. I ended up homeless for 2 years because God said to me, "You are chasing success, and I call you for ministry. I saved you to go help other people from the trauma, but I was trying to make money and stun on everybody that turned their back on me." So I was staying with this elderly, one of these spiritual mothers. I was staying with her, older lady. She was mean. I mean, cursing people out and pray for them at the same time. And so, child, please, one of them. So I'm in, I
Oh,
was
that
staying
name
at
sounds familiar to me, but you keep on.
so I'm in the guest room because I was doing I stayed with her like home health care. So you're talking about somebody traveling on TV, doing stuff. Now I'm changing bedpans, urination, feces, and God, I had went low to me. And so when I'm having this anger problem, and I remember she called me out the room to kill a bug on the wall. I snap. It's 2 a.m. 2 a.m. She yelling like a Negro done came through the window with a pistol. So I go out there and say, "Why are you drumming it?" And I'm already see what happens is you are already to this level already. You just need one little more push. So I go out there and I remember opening the curtains for her and she said, "Your eyes is red. You look like you want to hurt me." And I said, "Man, let me go in the room." So when I went in that room, I had it out with God again. I was like, "God," but I was tired of my anger and everything I was living. And God showed me at that moment, that 9-year-old boy that's still in you hasn't been healed. I'm in my 40s. He showed me. Now I done travel around, counsel people. I'm getting paid to speak, and still was damaged. That's why I tell people, I don't care who you are. You can be gifted. That don't mean you healed and delivered. You still
Right.
can have issues. And God told me that's why that anger and that pain is still there, because that 9-year-old boy in you who got ostracized, who got left alone, who got bullied, he hasn't been healed. So that's the part of what I'm saying. I ain't need no drugs, even though that could have been a medication what people did. A lot of people go to drugs also because of the pain and the trauma in their life. It just wasn't for
Right.
me. But I know
Right.
the effect of my life without God. I'm telling you, because I didn't really believe what I'm living here for. Everything has been bad to me. And so I'm like, why am I still here? And then so until I met God for real, and you asked what changed me around, that's when he told me he had a purpose for me. And then that's when I started learning what my gift was. And that's why I teach other people. I've written 8 books, working on my 2 more, 10 books. So I've been able to turn that, like Tyler Perry said, it was the lethargic what he went through. He turned it into something. So that purpose
Mm.
keeps me going. You know what I mean? I have to talk to people. I have to help people. Because when you get to losing people and seeing things up and down, money, you lose a grasp of I gotta be here on this earth.
Okay. 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 And so you said, Ashley said she loves your transparency.
Tell her I
And
said
that's
thank you. That's the gift I have, really, and some people said it every time. The reason we listen to you when you speak and you call on that, because I'm certain, coach, is because you're transparent. We
mm-hmm.
don't need nobody sitting up on the throne with a lot of money acting like they ain't been through nothing. But
And
that's
like they
my
never
gift.
done anything. Right.
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 Especially in the
Right.
church. You gotta understand that we know you ain't come out that womb like Jesus. So I'm transparent because that's my gift and I know my calling. I stand on it. Now, I'm transparent to where it's scared relatives. Why you always say you've been in prison? Why you talk about this? I'm like, because you have a fear and a insecurity about what you went through. You want to hide. Nobody
Mhm.
has a hell of heaven to put me in. What you say about
Right.
me don't have to destroy me. And once God showed
Right.
me, like I said again, when you really meet God, you die to the concern and control of people. Now I'm still
Right.
dying daily, but when you really meet Him, people can't control you and tell you, well, if you don't do this, I ain't gonna do that for you. But He will.
Right.
You might not
Right.
call, but then 3 more people gonna call me. They gonna show love to
Mm.
me. So I had to learn this, but I had to be alone a lot to learn who He was. And so that's why I
Mm.
tell people, that pain can be turned around. So transparency is what I use because of my call on earth to let people know. Listen, if I can come, I was speaking at an event in St. Louis, and an older guy came to me. He heard me, my mother on drug prostitution, prison, suicidal, all I've been through. He said, "Man, if you could write a book, I can write a book." But it's the way he said it. I was like, "Am I supposed to be offended the way you saying that?" But I understood
Mm.
what he was saying. What I've overcome is letting people know it's possible.
Right.
But I ain't the only one who done had some mess and became and started doing something with their life. So that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Once you
Right.
learn, yeah, I learned what I'm called to do. Transparency is a part of my calling and my purpose.
And I think transparency, all of us is called to be transparent because the Bible says this by our testimonies that others overcome. It's just that,
That's
like you
it.
said, we are reluctant, we're too concerned with what other people are gonna say about us, how they're gonna judge us, what
Hmm.
box they're gonna put us in, or how they may shy away from us after they know our truths. But um
Yeah,
your
them
truth
truths.
your truth can help save people's lives and change
Hmm.
them around. And
That's
so we
right.
all be, or I encourage us all to walk, live in our truth.
Hmm.
And so, guys, if you guys have any questions for Mr. Foreman, go ahead and put them in the chat, and he'll be more than happy
Yes,
uh,
indeed.
to, to answer those questions. So, you have a son of your own now. So,
Yeah, yeah.
having lived the life that you live, how does it change the way you parent your child?
That's a great
You as a
question.
parent. Mm-hmm.
Before he ever came, I already had practice not with other children and being a big brother and a mentor. So I try to make sure what I've been through, they didn't went through. So when it comes with my son, especially, see, my son was born with diagnosed with cerebral palsy. So
Mm-hmm.
he's in a wheelchair. Smart, handsome, strong young dude, but he's not walking at the age of going on 8. And that was another thing to deal with the anger and the frustration with God on that. And then he showed me there's a purpose in my son. So with my son, I'm still strong with him. But it's a lot of love. He brings the love out of me. He brings the compassion out of me. And I'm on purpose with him because I'm glad I didn't have my son until I was 40. So I'm glad God gave me enough time. Am I completely healed? No. Still, you got to watch for that Reggie Reg. That was my street name to come out. But I know that God did it at the right time when I had him. When he was born at 40 years old. Because a lot, if you remember anybody at that age, you supposed to. There's some old fools. I'm just keeping 100. But you hit 40, you start caring about a lot of stuff. People saying what they doing. So
Yeah.
at 40 years old was the right time for me to him to be my son because I'd already had started working on me, taking therapy classes, going for
Okay.
success. So that's why I impact. I know I see it from a different lens with him, especially like I said with him being in cerebral palsy. That you have to be spiritually strong and mentally, and understand, the words of making money and being strong. And that's what one gift I do have that I can pass on anybody. Like they say, I know how to be strong and I know how to be big faith because I've had to live it.
Oh, okay. Well, Duchess said that she loves this. She loves you sharing your story. And Beverly Adcock says that we have to break the stigma. If you're in recovery, being proud about your recovery gives others hope. His transparent is always on time. Okay, transparency is always on time. Mr. Jackson says, what has helped you the most in your healing process so far? What has helped you the most in your healing process? That's a
Again, my
great question,
relationship
Mr.
with
Jackson.
God,
Your religion.
my
And you
well,
said
not
that your
religion.
grandmama imparted
I
that
got
in
it.
you.
Not religion. Not religion. Relationship.
Your relationship with God.
Yeah, because that
Okay.
religion can be fake as I don't know what. You just going to church. You don't even know him. When I say I met him, fussed at God, cursed at him. He talked back to me. People done pulled knives on him. No, I met God. Ain't no religion. And I'm just saying that because people do have religions. You're doing a ritual. But when I say
Right.
that's my partner, my friend, we mad, we talk, and he answers back. That and
Okay.
also accountability. I have to face myself. I have to. You have to really look inside. I always tell people when I coach them, if everybody's bumping heads with you, we gotta look for the common denominator, and that's what happened to me
Okay.
in a while. I was
Okay.
bumping heads all the time, and that was like God was like, "It's something in you still, son." So that's what helped me. What he said with the keep on desiring to be better, but I couldn't do that without my relationship because I know people on the other spectrum that just give up on life. It's the drugs, it's the hell with everybody. They crazy, they wild, and I know why they like that. They'll
Hmm.
shoot you if you look at them wrong. They've died and don't care about nothing no more. So I really had to meet him, and purpose helped me. Let me tell y'all something. I see a lot of things coming through. When I went on CBN 700 Club, after my show aired, my interview,
Mhm.
I got a email from the producer. He said, Reggie, 94 people called in and got saved, and 140 some
Oh,
rededicated their life to Christ after your piece aired. So I'm like, I didn't do no miracles or nothing. I changed my life, mother on drugs. But what I said was at the end, when I came to Christ, I asked for purpose. And a lot of people, when you read their comments, they wanted to know what was their purpose on earth. People want to know why I'm
all right.
existing, what am I gonna do? And they were all like, "This man." I said, I ain't just want to go to heaven. If you're gonna leave me here, I need a purpose. Other than that, I
Okay.
was dead serious. Take me. I'm ready to go. That's how I live.
Okay.
And then God said, I
Okay.
got purpose for you.
Okay. That is awesome. I have a couple of people say that yeah, relationship with God is important, very important. So many people on here are saying that they really just love your story, love your transparency, love your willingness to share. Um, a question: what do you wish more people understood about what you went through?
Wow. I ain't never been asked that. Understood about what I went through personally.
What you
Wow.
went through personally?
Um, what I've been doing this for years. I ain't never thought about what I wish they knew what I went through.
Mhm.
Only
Well,
thing it lines
you've
up
been
with,
through a lot. You've been through a
yeah.
lot.
But what I do, thank you, Holy Spirit. I do want people to understand what God gave me, that there's purpose in your pain. Because
Okay.
everybody has a pain, and that's what he gave me. I'm telling you, when I was in that cell about to kill myself or kill somebody, he said, I have a purpose for it all. And so that
Mm.
began when I travel and speak, I let people know. And then my son is a twin. And my daughter prematurely died, where I saw her feet dangling out from my ex-wife's vagina down there. I saw the two little feet coming out, and we lost her. And this is after going around DMV, Baltimore, speaking. People changed their life, and I lost my child. And my son get diagnosed with cerebral palsy. So I've had plenty of chances to be angry at God. Whew, that part. So in that, I've been able to what? That's how Reggie the Lion, I wish I had it. My toy line. Reggie the Lion is about to
Mhm.
be close as Mickey Mouse. He speaks positive affirmations, all that. But God showed me when I was in anger, and that's what I try to help people know. Go to him, whether you pissed off, you love him or not. What you gonna do without him? Ask him.
Right.
We need to talk.
Right.
What's going on? And I did that. So then he showed me MADD when I was praying. It was still for Mothers Against Drunk Driving. And I was like, it was when I was praying, it just came across. That woman, if you know her, she lost her 13-year-old daughter to a drunk
Right.
driver and went and started a global organization. So I
Right.
try to get people to understand, okay, you was raped, you was molested, you was abused. What we gonna do with it?
What we're
You
gonna
can
do?
you can stay strung out. You can be mad. Mine was anger and violence. I didn't do drugs, but I went to the streets and was ready to fight and everybody. But after
Mhm.
that, I started watching success stories. I'm like, wait a minute, Tyler Perry was homeless, molested. Oprah was told she was too fat, black and ugly for TV, but they successful. What we gonna? So
Right.
there's purpose in your pain. What we
Purpose
gonna
in
do
your
with it?
pain.
Because it's a comma, not a period.
Okay.
It's just a
Okay.
comma.
Okay.
It's not a period in your life. So whatever you went through, that's what I
Okay.
coach.
Right.
There's purpose in it,
Right.
and we got to find out what it is.
Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Foreman. I appreciate that piece right there. That there's
Mm.
purpose in your pain, and letting us all know, because all of us, like you say, go through something, and we have some pain that we're still dealing with right now. And to know that God has a purpose for that, that is liberating and empowering.
You
So,
know, we got wealthy people committing suicide. Got plenty of money. Kids don't love them. Their kids cutting themselves. So it's not the aspect of how much money you got. If you're not mentally and spiritually focused, I mean, Robin Williams, I can name people. I know
yeah,
some people right where I'm from, St. Louis, was killing the game and money, did a murder suicide. Man, so everybody has pain, is what I'm trying to say.
right, right. And everybody has a purpose for that pain. God has
Everybody
a
has a
purpose.
purpose for it. If you look for it, he will show you. We're gonna be mad at him. Why I had to learn this way, but he didn't cause everything. One was the
Right.
closest things that happened. My ex-wife called and asked because she had fibroids growth in her, the uterine fibroids. And that's why my daughter slipped out. She couldn't stand it. And she asked me, "Are you mad at me? We've gone and separated, moved on. I said, you didn't kill our daughter. Could have God have stopped it? Yes. But he allowed it for whatever reason. It is an aspect of earth and a problem that happened. But I can't sit up here and say that God caused it. But what happened was I turned that into good. I made sure my son has been on 4 stages with me, 400 plus people speaking in a
Right.
wheelchair. He's at
Right.
5 years old because I
Right.
tapped into his gift. He
Mm.
has his own book. So I use my gift. I feel the Holy Ghost. He has his own book at 5. Now he's 7. He get on my nerves sometimes because he's too smart and the other way. But you learn to dig in and say, all right, God, what we going to do? And that's what I learned from this point. God, what we going to do with this?
What we're
It
gonna
hurt.
do with this?
I'm
Oh my
mad.
God.
I don't feel like
Oh my
praying right
God.
now. Be straight up with him. And he'll show you.
What we gonna do with this? I love it. I love it. Duchess says God gave you a great answer. There's purpose for our pain.
Mhm.
And you said take that pain and whatever you're going through and ask God, okay, God, what we gonna do with this? Because the
I
Bible does say
promise you, he got a
everything
reason
works
for it.
together for our good. Yes.
Yeah, I promise you he'll do something with it. A lot of people are mad at God because he allowed it, but you're gonna have to move on, man, and keep going. You know what I mean? Journey on
Mm.
through it because that's what I always tell people though. Please get out of the part where you believe it's just you. Look up
Mm.
somebody's story. Study these people you think
All
are.
right. All
You
right.
can't sit there and think it's just you because that's how the enemy destroy you. Because I used to feel
All
like
right.
God, mother was on drugs, abusive. I've been going through since I was born. He let me see our people being in slavery, and that's far
Mm.
back to other people. But when you study stuff, you're like, oh, suffering, man. But it ain't just us. I know some trailer park white people who daddy is molesting the daughter. It's some pain out
Mm.
here. So once I get
Mm.
out of where it's just me, I God, what we gonna do with it? So then that's why
What
I
we
said
gonna do
again.
with
I
this?
started studying
Oh.
success stories. J.K. Rowling that did Harry Potter, billionaire. She was on welfare. Her mother died on her. She was taking pills for depression. Now she a billionaire because she found her way out. So that's why I'm big on there's purpose in it if you look for it.
Mm, 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 mm. Oh, that is just awesome. Does oh my God. Does anybody else have
I know I
any
saw a lot of
questions?
stuff being typed in there.
Questions for Mr. Foreman. I just appreciate. I'm thinking, Mr. Foreman. I wish one of my friends were listening
Mm,
to you right now because I thank God had parents who were loving and nurturing. And so, there's only so much that I, as a person who had that, can tell a person who didn't have that, who had a different
ah,
situation.
yeah,
There's only so much that I can tell them because I can't really put myself in there. I can't relate to that extent. I can sympathize with you and I can empathize a little, but I don't know your pain, your hurt, because I've never experienced it. But the
yeah,
fact
yeah.
that
Yeah.
you have experienced it and are willing to share that, like I just really, really wish I had that this
But will
person was on.
this will be able to be replayed for her or
Yeah.
him? So
Mm-hmm.
maybe, hopefully, they'll watch it. And I just pray. And that's the other thing that helped me keep telling my story. I didn't want the devil to win. Because you know how
Mm-hmm.
you feel like you got somebody that whooped you in the playground and you still so like, man, I'm going to get my licks back. Every time I help somebody, I know he ain't winning. I ain't got to
Yeah.
sit there. If I can take something out of this and help somebody else, you ain't getting the last word.
Okay.
And that's what I believe because there is an opposing force. Besides, we do
Right.
it ain't just the devil because we the enemy is within us too. You know what I mean? But when you can
Right.
do something good out of it, you know how I feel to look back and say, I got to use this because I've talked to my sisters before when somebody molested or raped them. But then when they start and our sisters are doing some big things right now, books, organizations. When you do that, you look back and say that man ain't win. Whatever my
Right.
dad, uncle, or the dude who tried, he didn't win because you turned it into something great. That's the best feeling. But if you got to keep looking back and revisit that and it's killing you, then it's destroying you. Everybody else done moved on. You know what I
Mm.
mean?
Mm.
But you were still reliving that being destroyed instead of finding out, all right, God, I've been mad at you long enough. What we gonna do with it?
No. You have such a powerful message. What are you hoping for the next chapter of your life?
Well, right now, we've relocated to Texas, and I'm hoping that we're gonna be. What I'm hoping, I know what God is telling me. We're releasing this global ministry, this business, Reginald Line to help kids all over. And our biggest thing is against sex trafficking. I that's
Okay.
a thorn in my side. So I want the kids to have a Reggie Lion doll when they come through sex trafficking. And then me and Latanya, man, we are minister. We do marriage ministry. We were live on Facebook, had a lot of people
Yeah.
tune in. And it's just being able to do what God called me to do. So my next chapter is to get more out of my purpose. You know what I mean? To get more out of what I'm doing. Then my biggest dream is that my life story will be on the big screen. That's my personal
Okay.
passion. I want to be turned to
Okay.
movie. And I've been asked that. A couple of people asked me, and God just said it one time.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You will be
Well,
going to get
that's
some popcorn and see Reggie's story, just like Antoine Fisher.
okay. Okay. Well, I will be waiting to see you on the big screen because it's a
Amen.
story. It's a story worth telling. And uh, can you put do you have your Facebook ministry so you can put that in the comments because people are asking
I
for
put my
that.
Facebook and my website. My Facebook is just my name. You can inbox me. My wife is doing it.
Oh, okay.
We do have a coaching and consulting, RL Foreman Coaching and Consulting. We do have that. Wait, no, I'm about to put the wrong. Let her do it because I'm gonna tap the wrong thing in.
Okay.
Um,
Well, Miss Latanya, you gonna put that in there for us.
and put my
We'll
Facebook too.
appreciate it.
Yeah, man,
Okay.
I'm gonna brag on my wife a little bit. Real talk. Let me get to this part
Oh,
about her. Cause I was married
okay.
before for 8 years. Not that my son mother was a bad person. We didn't fit. It wasn't the fit for what we needed. But when I say I prayed for a sweet woman and she came in my life, so the next part of my life Like I said, I was in prison, and it was this guy that he had started dating this woman who, you know how they have ministries coming to prison, and he ended up dating
Mhm.
somebody and they got married. He said every time I get on the phone with her, it feel like she massaging my shoulders. She's her voice so sweet. And I was young and I was like, I want that. I remember saying that in prison. So Tana's coming, my wife, she got the motherly, everybody call her auntie. It was sent right on time to heal a lot of pain in me. Because yeah, and some people, I'm gonna be truthful, some of her family friends say, ooh, look like he got an anger, this, that. I ain't not to put my hands on nobody, but it's still dying to it. But her love and compassion is what God sent to me because I wanted to know that God, I wanted a woman that I could feel God loving me through. And that's what he
Mhm.
sent. So I brag on my
Mhm.
wife because and she had her stuff to go through. But when you talk
Right.
about God brought a magnetic of trials and trauma to help other people, this young lady has been like a that mother figure that, and that makes me feel better because you're wondering, God, how long will I suffer? When I'm
Mhm.
gonna get that healed? And so for him to allow that to her to come in my life, it ain't nothing no peaches and cream because you'll never become together. If God sent you somebody perfect, y'all can't grow. Somebody got to go. So both
Okay.
of us had issues to die from. But one thing about it, I believe I'm going somewhere else, but I'm gonna say this and then go to the question. Marriage is not hard. It's dying to self that's hard.
Mhm.
You got to
Mhm.
die to you. This way I want it. The man is dying to self. And will you go to the therapy for your spouse? And she's helped me
Okay.
do a lot. So I give her shout out because for real, when you brought up my mother, I think about he did send it through my wife.
Mhm. Okay. So, what brings you joy and peace
Purpose,
these
helping
days? I
people.
know your
Real talk.
wife.
Real well, of course my wife, but I ain't gonna lie. It's been times where I feel like I can just do live on my own. And that's why I said that's that problem. That where I have to bring myself to consciousness that you don't want to lose her. But I know how to turn the switch on. You know what I mean? Like I can live on, man. I done been once I go into my mind, you lived in this city, that city, you lived in prison, you ain't that I can go there. And I have to realize that my wife is a gift. But anyway, definitely that and her and my son, but really for real is my purpose.
Mhm.
I like helping. I've been
Okay.
sending out a daily text message for over 10 years to people. I
Mhm.
got lawyers, business people, judges on my text list.
Mhm.
And that's my gift of writing. So I've been doing that for 10 years. So me speaking to people, when people started coming to me after I was speaking, they was crying. But like you said, the transparency. On drugs, like, man, you don't understand what you did. I get that high because again, I'm like, Lord, if I look back at my past and see all I went through, I'm glad that you're showing me that you really said that there's a purpose in it. So my joy is always when I wake up, how I can help people. And my gift is is edifying people. As a prophet,
Mhm.
I encourage and edify speaking to people's life. That's my gift. So I don't know how to function no other way. If I just had to do a 9 to 5 and come home, I tell God I'm ready to go on to go to glory. Real talk. If I couldn't help
Mhm.
people, I wouldn't be here.
Okay. All right. Well, I definitely appreciate it. And you guys, if y'all would do me a big favor, Miss Latanya has put all the information in the
And
comments.
we got books for y'all. We got devotions. I got my life story book that got me on CBN if you need the product because for real, every all the wisdom has put somewhere. And we do coaching, so you ain't got to suffer, but it's up to you to reach out. We have books and we have materials to help whatever pain. I answer any question, and if I don't have the answer, I ain't gonna fake it. I'm gonna say, look, that's not my department. I'll try to connect somebody, or we can pray together.
Okay. And so, y'all, if you would like to support it, got a place so you can support his ministry, get his books, and watch it. So, are you gonna do? I know last year you did the Reggie the Lion series, your first season. Are you
Oh
gonna
yeah,
do a second
we
season?
did the first 10 episodes. Yeah, April Raw has definitely asked us for the second season. We've been
Okay.
thrown off when God told us to move to Texas, so we're trying to get our bearings and some people have already told me about stations this way. So we're just trying to see when is the right timing. This was
Okay.
a big move and a big getting on our feet and getting things together. And so we have that. But definitely we'll be doing a second season. And that was a
Okay.
great thing for us to birth out and do that.
Okay. So y'all, please support Mr. Foreman in his endeavors. Thank you so much, Mr. Foreman. You have blessed, I know, everybody who's on this call. So on this
Mm,
live. So guys, if y'all would please, cause like Reginald said, it is live. It will be out there for people to see. Please like and share this video so that we can other people who may need this information and may need this encouragement and may need to hear this testimony can do so. We want
yes.
everybody who needs it to get it. Thank you so
Mm.
much, Mr. Foreman. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. Thank
Oh yeah,
you,
this is our second
Latanya.
time. That's right.
Right. Yes, it's our second time. Yes.
Amen. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you, Latanya, for allowing your husband to come on the show and for having his back. We
You
appreciate you
got my
guys.
back. There she go. She gonna put herself on the
You're
count.
welcome. Good to see you, sis.
Yeah, that's
Good
my
to see
partner
you
right there.
too. Mm-hmm. All right then. So thank you so much, Mr. Foreman, and we'll talk to you again some other time. Okay?
I thank you again, and I'm gonna applaud you for keep having a platform for people to hear and do this. If without the platform, people couldn't hear me. So thank you for having me on.
Oh, you are so welcome. You're so welcome. We all got to operate in our purpose, right?
There you go. You've been doing it. Let's
Okay.
talk. All
Okay. Okay.
right, now have a great night.
All right, y'all too. All right, guys. So, like I said, please like and share this video because there's just so much great information that Mr. Foreman had in. And Mr. Jackson could not get in today. So, I'm going to go over our announcements right quick, like. So, next week's show my baby wanted to talk about, and once again guys, I want to ask you if you have something that you want to talk about, a show topic, let me know and we can get into it and we can have that discussion. This is not my show, it's not Mr. Jackson's show, it's our show and our time to have our discussion. But anyway, next Sunday is going to be a good one, Jordan. Are humans meant to be monogamous? Is it human nature to cheat? All righty, so that's what we're going to be talking about next week. Is it human nature to cheat? All righty, and then hopefully on the 20th, we're going to have Let's Talk Finances. I got to solidify that. And we'll probably talk finances at least once a month because that is something we have to focus on as a community, getting our financial house in order so that we can be the force in our communities and support one another uh, in a way. You could have hosted for me, Mrs. Jacour, but not at 7:59. You couldn't have hosted for me anyway. Uh, but yeah, so we want to focus on getting our financial houses in order. Please like and follow Ardeen Thomas and By Juju for You. If you have any Mary Kay needs or beauty needs, then reach out to our independent consultant, Miss Joyce Duchess Thomas Vincent on Facebook, or you can reach out to her through me or whatever. But she has all your beauty needs. She has that skin nice and pretty and glowing and have your makeup, your lip liner, everything you need. She can tell you how to apply it, what you need for your skin type, and what you need if you're having issues with lines or wrinkling or dryness or acne. She can tell you all that. She's a full beauty consultant. So reach out to Joyce Thomas Vincent for your beauty consultant needs. Stay tuned, guys, for some exciting news and information concerning By Juju for You and Joyce's Jewelry. So keep your ears open, and hopefully we'll have an announcement for you real soon. This is just a reminder that Opelika, the city of Opelika, will be having citywide elections on August the 26th, 2025. There'll be a mayoral election as well as election for city council members. So make sure that you make it your business to know your candidates and that you know their platform, what they stand for, who they are, and then get out and vote your conscience and vote for the candidate that you feel will be best for the city. We have to make ourselves really part of this political process, even though some of us may hate politics, it's a part of life. And like it or not, those people who are elected officials, they do make a difference in your everyday life. Elections do indeed have consequences. So make sure that you mark your date for August 26th and then make it your business to try to know something about the candidates. Don't forget to subscribe to the Divinely Guided Podcast YouTube channel so you can catch the dynamic duo of Duchess Thomas and Adriel Vinson. And they are on their weekly podcast and talking about self-care and how to take care of yourself, improve your health, improve the quality of your life. Subscribe to Juju's Dollhouse YouTube channel. I have a surprise coming up for you guys too from the dollhouse. Hadn't been in the dollhouse in a long time, but I do have a surprise coming up real soon from the dollhouse. Alrighty, and don't forget that Juju is a proud sponsor of Hold Up the Light, nonprofit agency. Um, Okay. And Miss Christian, Miss Michelle Gibbons, messenger man, we'll make it happen. We will make it happen. Uh, all right, and Miss Jackson said Facebook is not being kind to him tonight, but that's okay. Um, I thank each and every one of you, as always, for joining me. I am Juju. I'm that mountain moving giant slayer. Juju is walking by faith. She's inspiring hope and she's showing love all along the way. Until next time, guys, I wish you much love and many blessings. I love you all. Johnny Huff, I miss you. Love you. Y'all have a great night.